Just a little bit about me. If you're new to the area, I've been around here for a long time. I came here as a television news anchor and reporter, worked for Channel 7 for a while, and then worked for Bogus Basin. And while I was at Bogus, I wrote this crazy book about chickens. I grew up with chickens, so I always wanted them as an adult. And I told my husband, I want laying hens. And he'd always say, why do you want lame hens? I want laying hens. So when I read an article in the New Yorker in 2009 about people fighting for the right to have chickens in their backyards, it fascinated me. So I created a Google alert. I'll explain what that is if some of you don't know what that is later. But I created a Google alert. So every time urban chicken or backyard chicken hits the internet, it comes into my email box. So I've been following fights around the country ever since 2009. And it's still going on. People are still fighting for the right to have chickens in their backyard. So we here in Idaho are very fortunate. We're a chicken-loving state. We really are, except for in Burley. If you want chickens, don't live in the city of Burley. And there's a good reason for that. They have a poultry processing plant there. And so in terms of biosecurity, we'll also talk a little bit about biosecurity this morning. So I'm going to try and zip through this really quickly so I don't take too much of your Saturday. But what I want is to get you to the point where you can get a handful of baby chicks here at D&B, go out the door, and you know exactly what to do, right? Isn't that what you want to know? Okay, so how many of you already have chickens? Thank you for coming. Oh, you can teach an old dog new tricks, right? I promise you'll learn something new here, right? Okay, I promise. And then, how many of you have been to a chicken class before? 2. From like a competitor? Did you go to the library? Have you been at one of my classes before? Okay, okay, just curious. Well, I'm glad you all are here. Thank you for coming. So, this also has a guide to keeping backyard chickens, my little book there, and it's a great primer for just getting started. You can raise chickens just about anywhere. In Idaho, we have nice backyards most of the time, right? In big cities like Chicago, Atlanta, New York, where they allow chickens, you'll find these kind of coops. It's a rooftop coop. Make sure you fence this back here, though, because chickens really don't fly. You know that, right? And this right here, that's in Manhattan. Probably the most expensive coop in the country because it's an apartment in Manhattan. Don't feed your chickens out of a dog food dish, and don't put newspaper down. The reason why is chickens poop. They do that all the time. They fertilize everything in their path. Okay? So you want to make sure that if they are roosting and they come down off the roost, that they don't land in the poop, slide out, and break a leg. Okay? So stay away from newspapers. Check your city county code. Okay, are you all from Boise, Meridian? Yes. Anyone else from any other place? Eagle? Nampa?
Mineola, Texas.
Whoa! She doesn't even go here. Well, maybe, ladies, you know what maybe that's from, right? Cool. Well, you came all the way for that. All right. So just make sure you know what your city allows, what your homeowners association allows. You know, I had to write this book and I had to have chickens, right? But my CCNRs say no poultry. And at one time I had 11 chickens running around my yard. So, I got busted several times. So anyhow, determine the number of chickens and chicks you want. You know, how many eggs are you going to eat? Are you going to share them? Are you going to barter with them? Are you going to sell your eggs? People do that all the time. I now buy some eggs from the little gal down the road who has a bunch of chickens, and she can legally keep chickens. And it helps her pay for the feed that she feeds her chickens. So inform your neighbors and plan to share the eggs. I like cutting off a carton just, for 6 and passing them over the fence. It makes for good neighbors, good neighbor relations. You know the number one misconception about having laying hens? There you go. Exactly. You know it. You don't need a rooster to get eggs. Your chickens will lay eggs regardless. But my mom, when I was a 12-year-old, didn't think that, so we had a rooster, right? And in backyard chicken situations, the roosters are persona non grata because they crow all the time, right? And I asked my mentor, Mike Stanton, he's retired now. I said, why do they crow? Why all the time, not just when the sun comes up? He says, well, they're marking their territory just like a dog. Yeah, there you go. You learn something new, right? Okay, so we keep chickens for pest control, nitrogen-rich fertilizer. I always make certain that I rest the chicken droppings before I ever put them in my garden. I throw them in the compost, right? Sustainability. Right now, our food mile from farm to fork is 1,500 miles. That's how far our food travels. So if you can walk out back and grab an egg out of your nest box and have it for breakfast, you're significantly reducing that food mile, right? Entertainment. I guess I need to get out more because my husband and I will take a glass of wine and sit on the back patio and watch the chicken. So notice I say chicken. I live in Eagle too, and I can't have chickens, but I still have Hedwig, and my husband built me a chicken coop hiding in plain sight. So we'll talk about that because you may have something in your yard already that you could convert into a chicken coop. Really easy. And we do it for the egg production, just like that. Look at that. You're not going to find those in the market, right? No. And all those colored eggs, beautifully colored eggs. So an egg that you get from your backyard chicken can be as dark brown as a Hershey chocolate bar. Dark, dark brown, the shell color. All the way to white, right? And green and blue and speckled in between. I'll tell you a little bit about the chickens that can lay those eggs here in a minute. The egg inside, all the same. They're all the same. There's been a lot of, an urban urban legend that the brown eggs are healthier. That's not the case. They're all the same, as long as you're getting them from a backyard. If you want egg-producing chickens, make certain you purchase sexed chicks. D&B has what they call pullets, and those are sexed chicks. Now, is it a 100% guarantee that you're going to get a female? Not quite, but pretty close, about a 98% chance. Every once in a while, you'll get a little rooster who sneaks in there, okay? Terminology for you. The layers are the hens that lay an egg a day. They lay eggs every 24 to 26 hours, as long as they have 14 to 16 hours of sunlight, because that light, or other light, supplemental light, that light stimulates their ovulation process, and that's how you get the egg, right? So you want to layer. Setters are the ones who want to set on the eggs and hatch out babies. We call those mama wannabes. Probably the best app I've ever seen for chicken keepers, if you have a smartphone, and this isn't in the book, is Mother Earth News. Full disclosure, I write for them, but their Pickin' Chicken app, because it will tell you if it's a layer or a setter or a career gal, a chicken who wants to just lay the egg and then get out of there, right? And it'll also tell you if it's a dual purpose. You can use them for laying and for meat purposes, that sort of thing. So it's a great app. Fryers are the meat birds, right? And a lot of people are surprised to find out that the chickens that you see like on the spit at Winco or Costco, the roasted chickens, are the ones in the bag. Welcome, welcome. We've got goodies for you back there too, just in case you finish those. In the plastic bag, the fryers that you buy in the plastic bag, those chickens are anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks old when they're butchered. They grow that fast. Yeah. Your laying hens will feather out at 6 to 8 weeks. They'll finally be ready to go outside into the coop at 6 to 8 weeks. And D&B here just had Cornish cross, and those are the meat birds, Cornish cross. Anyone interested in meat birds? Yeah. Okay, well, you made it just in time. Okay, dual purpose, Cornish cross. So the next time that they have Cornish cross here is March 25th, 26th. Where are my glasses? 26th. So you learned a little bit there. A chick is a baby chicken that has not reached the age of laying, 20 to 24 weeks. So when you get your baby chicks, probably not today because we don't have any here, but the other D&Bs have some chicks too. So if you grab your chicks, mark on the calendar today, and then go out 5 months. And that's when you should start looking for eggs. Okay, that's when you should expect eggs. A pullet is a chicken that's not laying, but it has not passed her first birthday. And then a hen is a year-old chicken that will eventually experience a molt. And we'll talk about molting here in just a bit. There are 300, more than 300 recognized breeds of chickens. So the sky's the limit in terms of what kind of chickens you can get. And I just set a whole stack of these pieces of paper back on the snack table. So you can get one of these and it tells you what breeds are going to be at this store on which days.